has issued an alert to Nigerians as Cameroon releases water from its Lagdo Dam. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Umara Mohammed, in a statement said the dam's regulated water releases will commence on the 17th of September. According to the statement, the water discharge is anticipated to progressively escalate over the next 7 days based on the inflow from the upstream Garua River. The statement added that the dam operators have indicated that the planned water discharges will be gradual to avoid surpassing the conveyance capacity of the Benue River system and triggering substantial flooding downstream in Nigeria. The NIHSA director is asking Nigerians to be calm, saying there is no cause for alarm as the overflow from the Lagdo Dam is projected to cease once there is a noticeable reduction in the flow into the Lagdo Dam reservoir. For more on this, the Deputy Director, Environmental Defenders Network, Alagwa Morris, joins me on the news. Good to have you join us, Mr. Morris. The federal government has now issued an alert, but is telling residents to be calm. There is no cause for alarm. What is your reaction to this warning coming at this time?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. And I think the warning and the admonition for Nigerians to be calm from the Services Agency Director is a welcome development, because after the 2012 monster flood, there was this relationship the Nigerian counterpart had with Cameroon, urging that whenever they want to release water from the Lagdo Dam, Nigerian counterparts should be informed. And so we have been anticipating this kind of information. And it is good that it is coming at this time, though it would have come earlier. But his comment saying that the Nigerians should be calm is somehow reassuring. Down here in the Niger Delta, we, especially in Bayelsa, we have always looked at Kogi. We have always used Kogi as a benchmark. Once Kogi is overwhelmed, we know that the next port of call will be Onitsha. And it takes about 3 weeks from Onitsha to hit Bayelsa State. So when it gets to Kogi and Kogi is already overwhelmed, we know that it will take over a month to get to Bayelsa. And that will be enough time for us to prepare here, even though in terms of preparation, it's like we are not doing anything at the end of the day. However, I am happy that here in Bayelsa, a flood and erosion directorate has been established. So I believe that directorate is going about their function to ensure that the people, residents of Bayelsa, are adequately informed and also preparations made to ensure that people get to higher grounds and make other arrangements to avoid the type of colossal losses that we suffered in 2022 and between 2022 and 2012. We suffered quite a lot. And I think one of those things that will make us to be happy is when this release of water is regulated to the point that it will not be overwhelming to any of the states online.
I hear you, Mr. Morris. So it means that, bottom line, people should still get ready to move to higher ground, because the assurance to be calm sounds like people can remain where they are while this is sorted out.
Well, they say the warning that a layman, physically challenged person has, once you have the information in time, you can escape that danger. So the warning is enough for the wise. It doesn't mean that we should relax, but knowing that these monster floods have wreaked havoc before, and you've heard that it is coming, that water has been released, everybody will be admonished to make some kind of preparation. Even though flood is not strange to this part of the country, the Niger Delta especially is always experiencing flood annually, but not that magnitude as we experienced in 2012 and up to 2022. We used to have normal flooding every year.
But what preventive
Yeah.
measures can actually be taken to help these communities?
Yes, here, while we are thinking about shoreline protection and sand filling of communities, and then to ensure that virgin areas of certain communities are sand filled enough for future buildings, for people to relocate, to get higher grounds. We are also hoping that the federal government should go back to the Hausa Dashi Dam as admonished by the Senate. I'm happy that the Senate has urged President Tinubu to go back to the drawing board to ensure that the Hausa Dashi Dam is completed, because that dam was supposed to serve as a shock absorber to absorb water released from the Lagdo Dam, which we had already gone over 85% completion before it was abandoned. So that is one shore area, and experts, they should consult experts to ensure that these experts provide solution on how to prevent, not to react. We should not be reactive. We should be acting proactively
All right,
to
Mr.
ensure that
Morris.
Nigerians no longer, we don't lose lives and property over and over again. This is not hurricane or those type of things that happen in the US. This is a regular flood every year, and we should be able to look for solution.
All right,
that is something that I want to suggest.
All right, Mr. Morris. The Deputy Director, Environmental Defenders Network, Lagdo Morris, thank you for talking to us on TVC News at 1.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Moving on, the USAID-funded Integrated Child Health and Social Services Award Project has launched a comprehensive intervention to support orphans and vulnerable children and their households in Kebbi State. Hawa Mohammed reports.
The intervention project, which varies from health insurance payments of over 6 million naira in health insurance premium for 1,308 beneficiaries, instant cash transfer of 20,000 naira each to 556 beneficiaries, startup kits distribution, provision of vocational skills training, and startup kits to 235 program participants. Dr. Joseph Yang, Chief of Party of the USAID-funded ISA 4 project, reaffirmed the project's commitment to partnering with state governments and local stakeholders to deliver high-quality services to vulnerable populations.
This is part of the sustainability, providing vocational skills. Also, we also provide some kind of saving culture so people can make money out of the vocational skills, be part of the what we call silk, which is more like a savings culture within the community for this household. We also work with government to ensure that government also work with us to identify these persons so that when the project ends, government can actually take that over.
Mariam Umar Tafida, wife of Kebbi State Deputy Governor, who spoke on behalf of the wife of the Kebbi State Governor, Nafisa Nasser Idris, described the project as an outreach that will greatly move towards improving the life of household and business owners and unlocking new economic opportunities that will make life more bearable to the people of Kebbi State.
I will have to commend the USAID organization. This is a large milestone. We are so grateful for this contribution that they brought to our society, and I'm still calling on the beneficiaries to make good use of this contribution that they have gotten.
One of the beneficiaries of the ISA 4 project narrates how the project will help in improving his business and are delighted to be selected among the beneficiaries. Some of the items include instant cash transfer, sewing machines, grinding machines, and ovens given to small-scale business owners to help them cope. Hawa Muhammad, TVC News, Kebbi.
There will be more stories in just a moment. Please stay with us. Come back. The Kwara State government has promised to continue to prioritize quality education as primary and secondary schools resume for the 2024-2025 academic session. This is just as an education philanthropist has promised to continue giving helping hands to students in their academic and vocational pursuits. TVC News' Ibrahim Alige has details.
It's the new academic session, and Nana Aisha and her sister Fatima Gogo are set to go back to school. Just like the duo, other students are back in their respective schools. A new academic session, a new challenge, not only to the students, but also the parents who have to grapple with the current economic reality to cater for the needs of their children.
For bringing our children to school, it is not easy at all. Please, I'm pleading to the government, they should please at least reduce the money. Even when you go to the market to buy something, everything is very costly. It is not even easy.
To come to school is not easy. I have to trek sometimes. Sometimes my parents used to drop me with a car, but in the increase of fuel, I come with bike now.
Before the school resumption, some primary and secondary school students in Ilorin East local government area of Kwara State underwent a summer lesson. It's the 6th edition of the lesson organized by an education philanthropist, Ambassador Tajuddin Oleshin.
We have been doing it for the past years. They have been making me to be proud. They have done a lot in their performance in their schools. As they are going to JS1, SS1, SS2, all those classes, they have been exceptional in their classes. So I'm sure that what they have learned here again this year, they are going to improve it in their classes.
The closing ceremony of the event was attended by the officials of the state government and the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, Professor Abdelghani Ambali.
The message of the state government is to commend Ambassador Oleshin for deploying his own resources to complement Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak's investment on education, and to call on other well-meaning citizens of the state to emulate Ambassador Oleshin in prioritizing education.
During the inter-semester break, there is a likelihood of letting things loose, but with the philanthropists like the ambassador, he has been able to bridge the gap and to prevent them from going into vices.
The summer lesson and the vocational study for these students are expected to have positive impacts on their academic and vocational pursuits. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.
The United Nations Women's Country Representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Beatrice Young, says the body is ready to partner the Bayelsa State government in promoting youth and women in order to foster gender equality in the state. She made this known during the Empower Bayelsa conference, where she was received by wife of the Bayelsa State Governor, Gloria Adiri.
Statistical data from the International Monetary Fund shows that Nigerian women account for 70% of the country's extremely poor, although comprising only 49.3% of the general population. This puts the gender gap in economic participation and opportunity at a significant concern. The Empower Bayelsa Conference is a non-governmental initiative put together to promote youth development and gender equality in the state. This year's occasion is graced by the wife of the Bayelsa State Governor, Gloria Adiri, alongside the United Nations Women Country's representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Beatrice Young. She elaborates on the United Nations' interest in the promotion of gender equality as a panacea for economic development.
So UN Women is currently engaged with the Federal Ministry of Budget and Planning to kickstart a national initiative on implementing and institutionalizing gender-responsive planning and budget. We are of the opinion that we could also start this initiative in Bayelsa.
Hailing the policies of the Bayelsa State Government on women's development, Gloria Adiri believes the partnership will help stimulate more women and youth empowerment in the state.
When women are empowered economically with education, knowledge and skills, taking leadership roles, decision-making becomes easy, reducing malnutrition index. Hopefully, with this partnership, we'll scale up empowerment for our teeming population.
Once we are able to take care of the poverty and the unemployment drivers of youth restiveness, we will have sorted it to a very large extent.
I have a faculty, but I trust that collaboratively we are going to be able to contribute our quota to advancing Bayelsa through Empower Bayelsa.
With global ranking placing Nigeria as a low performer in gender equality, opportunities such as these are welcome developments in improving the country's coefficient globally. Joseph Kunde, TVC News, Yenagoa.
Elsewhere, the elevated status of Nigeria-China bilateral relations will bring easy access to professional training and security partnership with China and other long-term solutions to the development challenges of Nigeria. But this was made known at a meeting on Nigeria-China relation in Abuja. Moyo Thomas reports, and we'll be back with business news.
Relations with Nigeria reiterates that Nigeria's elevated bilateral relations with China will result in the development of the country. At this forum, organized by the China General Chamber of Commerce, they say Nigeria is under pressure for development and needs support to build needed structures for development, which China is ready to provide. They recognize the role of international partnerships in achieving the desired development and want Nigeria to reconsider the terms of its partnerships generally.
So Nigeria is very important. So this promotion is just doesn't work. We deserve it. We really deserve it. So it's a new window of opportunity, that has opened now to Nigeria and Africa, and we should grab it. How we recommend that we should grab it? Public and private institutions and enterprises should exploit it to expand their trade and investment. Nigeria's or Africa's strategic importance to Beijing is gradually increasing now.
China will be willing to make a lot of important concessions they already started making by telling us 33 impoverished countries in Africa, poor countries, will be given free access to their huge market. They're already making by telling us that Africa will now participate in China import fair.
Experts advocate for subnationals to also participate at the FOCA summit to identify development companies to partner with, just as Lagos has leveraged on this opportunity.
All other outcomes from the federal government as well as from the state government, especially Lagos State, they are going to generate more employment opportunities for Nigeria and Nigerian citizens. So this particular variable, as it constitutes developmental project in Nigeria, is actually healthy for Nigeria, and the visit of Mr. President is contributing immensely in this particular regard, that Nigerians will be able to be employed, and employment opportunities are actually going to rise with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's visit.
They emphasize the need for concrete steps towards the implementation of the FOCAC engagement, which will further deepen Nigeria's bilateral relations with China. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.